Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Where's that echo coming from, by the way?
Not me.
I don't know.
Is that my own? I think it is actually. Hang on.
Could be.
Sick.
The experience is technical.
around the corner, guys.
Yeah.
Time to go back to. It's time to go back to playing MLB The Show.
Time to play iRacing.
I turned the Hangouts plug-in volume down for no good reason. That's not a good idea. Okay. Hello everybody. I'm back at it once again with a brand new video for you. Welcome to Around the Corner of my annoying arse echo. Right, hang on. Ah, there we go. No, it is. I'm trying to work out what it is. Is this gonna work out any better? No, I'm still echoing. This is not going well. We're already 20 minutes over, and now I'm echoing for the first time ever, and I have no idea why. Hang on.
Best intro ever.
Shut up.
I muted my mic just to make sure it wasn't me.
Wait, I'm gonna unmute mine just in case.
I'll chuck some headphones on.
And Dre's not talking. We can't hear Dre.
Sick. Got some technical issues going on?
Fucking. Please. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear the echo louder though.
Hmm?
I can hear the echo louder though.
We're off to a great start.
Oh, that's bad. I can't hear it.
Look, it's impartial. It's like I don't know what's going on with this thing.
Wait, I'm gonna put the stream up on my phone, and I'm gonna see if it's fine.
Oh god. We're going to extreme lengths to solve these audio problems, folks. So bear with us. We're going through some technical difficulties. I mean, the good Lord help us all.
First thing I see is the ALR Malaysia highlights. Lovely jubbly. In my subscription feed.
Okay. Hang on.
Right, Harrison 101 HD.
Okay, is there still an echo going on right now?
Yeah.
Why is there an echo? Is it... Okay, is that better? No.
No.
I don't know, the video's got 7 likes already.
Well, Alex again has it understand. That's a positive.
Yeah, it's just a small echo you've got on the stream.
I don't understand why that's happening. Around the corner, Monaco Tunnel.
He got some headphones straight. Might help. Put some headphones in, it might help.
So what's Owen? No.
Put some headphones in, it might help the echo.
Hang on.
I think the echo's coming from RyanL83.
Where do you think it's coming from?
From RyanL83.
Hold on.
Yeah, because he's the only person that doesn't echo for.
Yeah.
Wait. Right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was you, man.
It was a little more along.
Are we going to give out penalty points before we even
I
start?
honestly, I've done this so many times. What before, and it's never done that.
Littlemore, I'm going to kill you slowly and painfully.
It's never done that before. I have no idea why it's done that.
Okay, I can now plug my actual microphone back in, and you can probably hear me a little bit better now, and I'm assuming that the echo is now gone. For the love of God, please tell me it has.
It has,
Has it?
Yep.
On the stream it has.
Okay, so how about we start this over and try again? Good evening, everybody. I'm your beloved and slightly frustrated host, Harrison101, and welcome to Around the Corner Season 2. thanks for your patience, first of all. First of all, we started half an hour late. And second of all, we've already had a whole heap of technical issues thanks to Ryan leaving his speakers on. You idiot. Now, now, luckily, I think we're okay, so we'll start the show. So, yeah, around the corner, if you didn't know already, we debate some Formula 1, we talk about it, I award points for prizes, and hopefully at the end we'll have a winner. And general calamity and hilarity tends to ensue on this show. And you guys at home ask the questions. Also, shout out to MadRacer1000 in the comments for the funniest comment I've heard so far tonight. Dre finally muted, never thought I'd see the day. You can only suppress me, you cannot stop me. In case you guys don't know, I score points for arguments, I take points away for bad use of facts, bad challenges, and general incompetence. Ryan, I'm looking at you. As in Littlemore. But, of course, I don't know if Ryan's unaware, but obviously there is a new rule in Season 2. In Season 2, there is a Joker. You can play that Joker on one of your questions. If you play your Joker on the question, you score double, but you can only use it once. And if you don't use it, you'll be forced to use it on the final question. So, those guys in the comments who are watching, first of all, hi, thanks for your patience. Second of all, start the questions going. Shout-outs for those who get their questions asked on the show, obviously on here, and on Twitter if you like. You can follow me at Harrison101HD and tweet me a picture. Oh, my picture? God, this is a Snapchat. Just tweet me a question if you have anything you want to air on the show, or anything to get off your chest, or a question which may or may not make it on the air. Remember, we've only got about an hour and a half to work with here, so hopefully we'll get through them nice and quick. Thank God Scott Woodward isn't here. In the meantime, shout out to everybody in the chat. Team at Marduk is here. Hey, our Aussie cousin is here. Good to see you, Ben. Mad Racer is here. Kev is here. Good to see you. Joe McMillan, third in the Dre TV Fantasy League as well, is up there as well. Thomas is here. Good to see you. Saying hello, people. I'll be here for like 5 minutes before I start studying again. Why are you here now, then? Should I send a bunch of snaps to Owen? Please do. Spam his Twitter.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Vote Mayor
Good thing
Quenby.
my Wi-Fi's off, Tom.
Tweet vote Mayor Quenby. Tell him this because he's wearing tartan trousers on tonight's show, and that deserves punishment. No, sit down. Sit down as I start taking points off you. Tom is in the chat. I can see Tom Martinez is with us as always. Tom97HD, former PlayStation champion, is with us. AH14 Beast saying, I think Ryan King needs to change his shirt. I disagree.
Problem, bro?
I think he should.
I think he should as well.
I think you should get rid of that scarf there, Owen.
No, I don't think
I think
I
you should
should.
get rid of your speakers, Ryan.
Don't blame me, blame Apple.
You don't see me complaining now, do you? Well, actually, you do. But Richard Evans is here as well. But thanks everybody in the chat as always. Get those questions in, and we will get rolling. Also, I got to love this question, Joe from Joe McMillan. When is King going to do his offensive statement?
Oh God!
You guys want me to get thrown off the air? It's beautiful. But yeah, a lot of questions I've already had before in previous shows actually, which is kind of annoying. Unfortunately, the whole which F1 drivers would you like to hang out with? We've done like the dinner table question before in previous shows, so I know it's a little bit harsh on you guys because you may not have seen the previous shows. Just bear that in mind. If you can think of it, there's a chance someone's followed up with it. But okay, let's hit the Twitter first, and let's begin around the corner. Our first question today is from Luke Ab, Luke Abo official. It's a very nice Hamilton Abbey you got going on there. I wonder who you support, sir. But in the question is, and I quote, do you think Sebastian Vettel's going to stay at Red Bull any longer if they can't catch the Mercedes speed? One more time for those unaware. Do you think Sebastian Vettel's going to stay at Red Bull any longer if they can't catch the Mercedes speed? Before I start, anyone playing the Jokers right off the bat? Don't all put your hand up at once. That's a no. Okay. Now, who's going to go first? Because his speakers aren't working, let's go Ryan Littlemore first as punishment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now get
I'm
talking.
trying to go first anyway. No is the answer, I believe. First and foremost, who would he go for? Apart from obviously Mercedes, who's a good team, but Hamilton and Rosberg have got to stay there. You know, contracts signed for many years. Ferrari, they're a bit slow and sluggish. Bad start to the season. Alonso's are only the decent one who's actually doing well in terms of performance and pace. McLaren, nah, they're too slow. And then who you've got from there? You've got Lotus, who are slow as hell and having a bad start to the season. A long time. Force India, they're not bad. They're doing pretty well. Got a podium for Sergio Perez in Bahrain.
Welcome to Ryan Littlemore's team breakdown.
But from there onwards, they're all rubbish in terms of performance, and it's not really Seb's fault in terms of the Red Bull's performance. You've got to blame Renault as part of a main reason with their engines. But a reference quote here. Apparently, Canada, all the Red Bull engines, Renault engines, are all going to be at full power, so Red Bull may have a chance of getting some performance up there. And in the past, Red Bull have been pretty decent around Canada over the years. Apart
Oh, he's gone.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. He's back.
Basically, I was saying before it lagged, just saying like it's been a good track Canada has for Red Bull over the years. Recently, Vettel should have won in 2011 apart from his mistake with the weather conditions, and I think this will be the moment we'll see if Red Bull has the pace to be up there this season. But overall, he will stay because he's got the management. He's got his management backing. So yeah.
This show's off to a great start. One, he freezes, and two, he ignores the time warning I put up in the middle of that question, even after his internet came back. That is the most blatant overtalk I think I have had.
Oh, come on.
I admit, you should cut him some slack. His internet lag there.
The internet lag. I'll even disable the Auto HD to make sure it will not happen again.
King has saved you a 2-point penalty. He's very generous.
Because he's a fellow Ryan.
I don't think that's the reason. You're a lucky boy, Littlemore. King!
Okay. I don't see Vettel leaving Red Bull. He's been there literally his entire racing career since he was a young teenager, and he's stuck with Red Bull even though he was in Toro Rosso. He still has Toro Rosso's lone win, and the fact of the matter is, even though that Renault stated before Spain that they were going to be at 100% in Canada, we've seen after Spain that they don't have the reliability to run at 100% in Canada. I think Vettel's going to stay at Red Bull because, number one, Red Bull's the second fastest team, and number two, he's a loyal Red Bull employee.
Yep, good. All right, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. King playing the short strategy again. We don't know how well that worked for him last time. Nino!
Well, considering for the last 2 years, how many times has he been linked with Ferrari? And but that's when he's had the clearly the fastest car under his. So, and now none of those rumors have come up, but he's not the fastest. So I think he'll be fine with Red Bull. He's 4 years he's been world champion in a row. I think one odd year where he's not at the top won't affect him too much. That depends. If he's got his patience in check. You mean Alonso's how many years has he stayed in Ferrari when he's clearly not had the performance, and even though he's taken the championship to the wire for 2 years, he's still not the car. And of course, other than the start of the season, we haven't seen him seeking other teams. So Vettel, I think, will be fine. And just as Ryan said, if he does want to move, where will he move to other than Mercedes? And I think Rosberg and Hamilton will be there for at least another year because they're both signed, unless some other events happen. Hopefully not. But I think Vettel will be fine, and I'm pretty sure if it's not this season, probably next season, I think Renault will get their competitiveness back on track, and they'll be racing for victories next season, if not at the end of this season.
Sweet, nicely done. Tartan boy.
Yes, I believe he will. I think he will not go because it'd be a fairly stupid decision of him, considering Ferrari are bad. Pretty much everyone else, the only team really in front of him at the moment is Mercedes, so it would be a poor decision on his part. Yes, he'll probably want to go because it's Ferrari, but it would be fairly poor on his part because he has nowhere else to go apart from Mercedes to be competitive.
Okay, interesting perspectives. The majority seeming to think he won't go anywhere. My take, yeah, pretty much in agreement. Red Bull second fastest team. There's not a lot of top level seats to go around right now. Just generally speaking, I think until this past weekend that Mercedes driver lineup looked pretty set to me. Rosberg apparently has a multi-year agreement in place. Hamilton, I think, was signed on a 3-year deal originally when he first made the switch. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it was 3 years. So I mean, maybe certain incidents that happened at a certain Grand Prix last weekend might change a certain few things there. Let's have a look. Question-wise in the chat, AH14B asking, why are Forest so bad, Ryan?
I prefer not to comment on that question. It's got nothing to do with F1. But in all seriousness, blame the manager, our old manager. That's all. And injuries.
BL Gamers is asking, Dre killing swag. You know it. Chicks dig the trilbies. Call me. Let's have a look here. Questions. Hey, Andrew the Blade is here. Good to see you. Apparently, evening, folks. Guess I can be here after all, since Codemaster's great connection ruined my live commentary plan for the evening. Gotta love Cody's and their internet. Gotta love it. Side is here. Good to see you. And yeah, a ton of questions coming in. Thanks, guys. Keeping me busy all night already. You've even got the odd football question dropped in here as well. We might go off topic towards the end and talk a little bit of World Cup in there as well.
Oh, we got Nothing.
What was that? was that a burp from King?
No.
What was it?
No, I just said, oh God, because it's World Cup time.
Yes, who doesn't love World Cup talk apart from my entire Ask FM inbox? But okay, let's tackle the big one, because I've had about 4 different people ask me about this one, and it was going to be an obvious one that was going to come up eventually. Jules Bianchi. No, I'm joking. Gotcha. Let's have a look. What the bug's going? The bug's fucking
Owen. My wheel may have fell off the table.
Oh my God.
His room is collapsing under the pressure.
Ryan's just gone.
Oh, Ryan King is leaving. Owen's bedroom is collapsing under. Somebody doesn't want me to have a show tonight. The powers that be are determined to make this show not happen. Okay, let's have a look here. Lego Tentron 2500 asking, can you see this message? Yes. But okay, the big one. I got people from BL Gamers Addict to LMP F1 Racer to Sean McKay asking me pretty much the same thing. What do you think of Hamilton after Monaco? You can see that certain people are rubbing their hands with delight at this question. King has broke out the baseball bat.
I need to protect myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Dearly beloved. Look, God, my homie. I know we've had our problems, and I know I've been a skeptic at times. I'm not the biggest believer in marriage. I'm not even sure you entirely exist, but for the next 5 minutes, could you please protect me from the impending doom that is going to be the Hamilton fanboy era? That's, like, I swear to God, if you do this, I swear to God, there's an ironic. I swear, if you give me this pass, I might start going to church again. For a week. And not during the Grand Prix. Okay? Thank you. Right. Anyone want to play their Joker? It's a Hamilton question.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No?
It's never worth it.
Nah.
You must have been tempted by that one, surely. No? Okay, now the fun part. Does anybody want to go first?
I don't mind going again.
Oh, King has raised his hand.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. I might even extend the time limit just a little bit, just for the hell of it, and just question only. Go on, King, fire away. Send us to this.
Dear old Lewis Hamilton. This is my open letter to Lewis Hamilton. So, Lewis, you grew up in Stevenage. Yes, you didn't have the kindest of beginnings compared to Nico Rosberg's jets and yachts in Monaco. Yes, your dad did work multiple jobs so he could support your racing career, but that doesn't make you more hungry for a world championship than Nico Rosberg. Yes, your rough upbringing has shaped you somewhat in your life, but no, it does not make you more hungry than Nico. Nico has worked just as hard as you have. You don't need to say you're more hungry. You proved that out in the track. I'm pretty sure you said that in an interview this weekend. You don't play psychological games. You do what you have to say on track. Now, you didn't take kindly to what Nico did during Q3 in Monaco, but we don't know if it was on purpose or not. It probably wasn't. You should know that the tight streets of Monaco are pretty open to yellow flags. Now, you should give Nico his due respect. He got his pole. Whatever happened, happened. You shouldn't just completely brush him off and ignore him on the podium. You should be a true sportsman, shake his hand, give him some acknowledgement for his achievement, and then move on with your day. Thank you, Lewis Hamilton.
Bravo, King! Bravo! Oh, what have I done? I've opened the floodgates to hell. King, can I borrow your baseball bat? I may need.
I don't know how fast it'll ship to London, but.
Okay, let's get the Hamilton fans' perspective on this. Nino, talk to me.
Oh my god. Yeah. Recent times I've pretty much tolerated what Lewis has done in the past years or so, especially when back in 2011 he was crashing everybody out, and but this time I think he's definitely gone too far. Commenting about Rosberg doesn't have the hunger. That's really unnecessary, especially this early in the championship. It's just 6 races in, and maybe the animosity could have come later in the season when they're fighting 1v1 and it's getting closer to securing the championship. Maybe it would have been more acceptable because your mindset is in the focus mode of trying to secure the championship. But it's only 6 races in, and it's you're leading the championship well, by little points. Not anymore now, obviously. And you've won the last 4 races. Is there really any reason to make those comments and become such an angry little child? Not really. there really is no reason. So hopefully Hamilton doesn't go back to that mindset of 2011 where he starts crashing everybody out. But yeah, I think he needs to sort his mind out.
What have we done? Oh God. Owen, help.
Personally, what I think of Hamilton after Monaco is he's a spoiled little brat that needs to be put back into place, and Rosberg needs to do that to him. Rosberg really needs to put him back into his place. Yes, I would be pissed if you got your fastest lap taken away from you because your teammate has made a mistake, but there's no way to act like that. It's not good for the team, not good for Mercedes as a brand, and it just makes it look awful on you. So...
Okay, and finally, Littlemore.
Where do I start with this? What really baffles me with Hamilton at the minute is after the whole event of the Monaco Grand Prix, he comes up by stating that him and Rosberg are no longer friends. And then a couple of days later on his Twitter, he posts a picture of him and Nico many years ago saying, "Oh, we're still friends." So I have no idea what the hell is going on with his personal life on there. Since he's joined Mercedes, he's changed a lot in his personal side of things. Like he's got all the money, sponsorship, he's got all that. I think he's becoming a different person than when we used to know when he was at McLaren, growing up through the ranks and becoming a proper driver. And he knew this season Mercedes were going to be up there from pre-season testing, and he knew that Rosberg will be probably his only contender for the championship this season. And with the whole communication thing he had in Monaco with the pit stops as well, when the safety car came out and he was going to pit a lap before the whole thing happened, as soon as I can't remember who caused the safety car, I can't remember the race, but and then he comes over the mic saying, "Oh, why we should have pit and all that," and he's getting really frustrated in himself, and he's just getting a bit annoying. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I will stay with my statement about Rosberg. I think he will have the edge in terms of the emotional, personal things and all that. But obviously, you've got Hamilton's personal life with Nicole Scherzinger as well, and all that, and all that about him. Oh, is he getting married? Is he not? Dumping her, then they're going back out again, and all that. So it's getting a bit really weird for him, and in the mindset where he should be focused on racing, which Rosberg is. And I think that might give Rosberg the edge coming into the season if Hamilton keeps having all these moaning, crying moments every race. So about his car or strategy, and that will cost him the title, I feel.
Still riding the Rosberg horse to the pine, aren't you, Littlemore?
Yeah.
May the good Lord help you. Dear. Right, as predicted, a lot of comments are following that question. Apparently we're not going to hell, which I guess is good news. For me, Hamilton's change in demeanour back to 2011 Lewis can be summed up in 2 words. Nicole's back. The man right there. That makes a lot of sense. Hello, Donovan. Good to see you. Joe McMillan says, drinking game. Every time Nino says, yo, no, take a drink.
I've never ever said that.
Are you sure?
Okay. Ryan's favourite fan, AH14, is in the chat saying, has Ryan got some bum fluff going on there?
Yeah, it's coming off tomorrow.
Oh yeah, he's got the whole he's got the Adam Lallana kind of neck beard going on for him right now. E.G. Max saying, mind games is the name of the game Hamilton is playing. I don't think he's smart enough for that.
I think there's a fine line between mind games, doing mind games, and then being such a little child.
Oh God! We're gonna die.
You thought I was gonna be the bad one.
One principle for Hamilton at the moment: don't be a dick.
Oh yeah.
Hang on, 2 points to Owen Quenby for the Adam Hills reference. I approve greatly.
Wait, that's Will Wheaton's Law of Gaming. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, we get you on that one. I said Eterno UK saying, "Oh hi Eterno, Joe, if you're watching, I promise without a shadow of a doubt I will get you on the next show. I promise. I know you've been asking me for ages, and it's a complicated thing. It really is. The waiting list goes around the block. But Joe, if you're watching, you're on next time. I promise. Just remind me nearer the time. what's happening with Dre Nation F1 team. It's retired. But yeah, I think that's everybody really. But yeah, also I just tweeted on Twitter @As101, we're all going to hell. And it is glorious. How we are going to hell, riding the coattails of the Hamilton apocalypse. But yeah, scores are pretty close though. Oh god, I can't believe I'm saying this. Ryan Littlemore is in the lead.
How is this possible?
What?
What?
No. The last time I was leading, I came last.
This is true.
Nothing, guys.
Littlemore is in the lead by a single point from King and Nino, both with 11. Littlemore's on 12. Owen's on 9.
This is some controversy, in the words of FizzyFan91. I have the picture, but I won't show it. I still have it screenshotted.
Okay. Right, let's have a look here. Okay, let's go to a friend of the show. And put the picture away, little more. I was saying, yeah, friend of the show, Tom97 HD. Good to see you, Tom. Apparently he's at home right now sporting his Frank Lampard shirt. Mr.
New York.
I bet he's going in the corner now, crying his eyes out with a picture of him just like going like that.
Yeah, he's too busy watching his best of Frank Lampard DVD, which is pretty much all deflection penalties.
I think he's crying because they've lost Frank Lampard, they've lost Ashley Cole, and they still have Fernando Torres.
Wait, Nino, that's a winner. That's outstanding. Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm giving him 2 points, man. That was outstanding. Wow. Okay. His question was, how do you think Caterham and Fernandez feel after seeing Marussia beat them for their first points in Formula 1 and rumours circulating that he's put the team up for sale? So, just for a little backstory, we all know. First of all, congratulations to Jules Bianchi and the Marussia team.
Yep.
I think I'm right in saying everybody in Formula 1 was so happy to see Marussia get their first points. After 45 Grand Prix, 45 attempts. Congratulations to John Booth and the team. It's well earned. They had to work so hard to play catch up, and everything just fell into place for them during that weekend. And Jules Bianchi pulled out a superhuman drive to get 9th. It would have been 8th if it wasn't for the stop and go shenanigans there. But hey, I'm sure they'll take it. It's like London buses. They wait a long time for points and then 2 come along at once. But how do you think this will affect the Caterham camp? Obviously. Let's go Nino first.
Well, first of all, I think they're devastated because of all the races in the calendar, I think Monaco was the best chance for any of the Marussia and Caterham to get points because obviously with people crashing out and it's just the best chance unless there's some other race that it's just heavy wet weather and then lots of people in front of them make mistakes. I doubt that Caterham will get many points this season, which will be sad on one hand. On the other hand, isn't it that Marussia get 2 points? So for next season, they have to pay more costs, don't they?
I believe the cost to enter is on how many points you earned the previous year. I believe that's a factor.
Yeah. So in that note, Caterham must be laughing. So, but no, I think Caterham would much prefer to have got points. But I think it would have hurt more if Kobayashi would have got the 10th place, but Bianchi would have finished 9th ahead of him. Because you can't really celebrate because your main rival's got more points than you anyway. But yeah, unless there's some high in the ends race where maybe similar to USA 2005, I doubt Caterham will get any points. And
don't mention USA 05 around King.
Sorry, King.
He starts having a nervous breakdown.
Apologies, King.
Owen. Yeah, I can't say much else to Nino. to be honest. They would be devastated. It would be more devastating if they'd scored points as well. And, well, let's face it, they were probably going to leave at the end of the season anyway, because Fernandez has basically had enough of F1 now. He said at the start of the season, if they didn't get anything, they didn't beat Marussia this season, they were going to go anyway. I'd probably be more pissed if I was Sauber at the moment, though, considering they're now they're joint bottom with Caterham in the constructors. So I'd probably be more pissed with as Sauber.
That's a very good point. King?
Yeah, with Caterham right now, it really seems that there's nowhere to go but leaving. But the thing is that Tony Fernandez isn't just selling Caterham, the Formula One team. He's also selling Caterham, the car company he owns. And it's going to be really hard for him to for him to find a buyer, because the estimated cost is about $500 million. And right now the rumors are it's either going to be a Ford factory buyout or a Honda factory buyout, and that doesn't really seem likely, because the president of Ford, the great-grandson of Henry Ford, says he doesn't want to be involved in racing right now. So the only option would be a Honda factory team. And Caterham, it looks like Fernandez is stuck with it, or he's going to have to lose it. A lot of money, which he doesn't want to do because he's trying to help keep QPR in the Premier League next season. He wants to get a lot of money so he can try to buy some players to bolster QPR for next season.
Yep, QPR, the kings of Premier League rejects. And finally, Littlemore.
Where do I start with this? Tony Fernandez will look like that. That's his reaction to
Oh my god.
like that.
That's
Okay?
scary.
He would literally be like, "What?" But that's Monaco. Monaco can do lots of things. So I'm quite glad Marussia did get points there. But on to the more important stuff. What's really been frustrating for Caterham is they're slower than some of the GP2 cars, which is really, really embarrassing. Which just clearly shows that they've literally done absolutely nothing to improve that car from last season. Example, their ridiculous nose, which is no point whatsoever that's actually helped them on there. So I literally believe that this could be their last season in Formula One. And it's a big statement if they somehow miraculously get some points in tracks like Singapore, which is probably going to be the only chance, I feel, because that's like Monaco. Or like Brazil, like it's been for the past couple of seasons, where it's been quite close.
Yeah.
So obviously Fernandez, there's been like saying, oh, it's up for sale, then it's not for sale, then it's on for sale, then it's going around crazy around the media. But when he was talking about when QPR got promoted and all that, he says, oh, we're going to stick by them, we're going to support Caterham, we're going to try and get up there, try and work on development over the course of the summer when we have these like mid-season testings. But I honestly feel that it's going to go bad.
Yeah, there's a really good point about Brazil. Caterham's best ever finish in the race was in Brazil. I think that was 2012, where I think it was 11th. I think it was. I think it was it Charles Peake who was driving for them at the time? Or was it Petrov? Yeah, Petrov. I think it was one of the two. I think it was Petrov passing Charles Peake for 11th, and the whole Caterham team partied like they just won the World Championship over an 11th place finish, because that got them 10th in the championship and got them some money. So hooray Caterham. But yeah, it must suck for Caterham knowing that after all of that effort, the team that was below you have now scored points. Must look even worse for Sauber, knowing that financially they're up to Swanee. They've resorted to Russian money, Sergei Sorokin to put in the seat, and they have absolutely no points to show for it. I've actually looked on the internet the other day as well and worked out that Sauber have the worst finishing rate of any team on the paddock. 5 out of 12 of their cars have finished so far this season, the worst in the entire field. So Sauber have got some serious issues, and I feel bad for the team because I like Sauber and I like Manisha Keltenborn, and I hope they do well. Yeah, sad that. But yeah, let's check some of the comments here. age 14 be saying, "Get Scott on so we can ask him Bianchi questions." It would have been fitted, wouldn't it? Imagine how fucking smug Woodward would have looked if he was on this show right now. Like bowing to his shrine. He probably hasn't ever since Monaco actually happened. That would have been pretty funny. E.G. Max getting very defensive over Hamilton, a child with a championship under his belt, and the only one going to hell is Pastor Maldonado for his driving. Fair enough. Chaz was with us. Hi Chaz, good to see you. Tom97HD goes, "We love you, Torres. We do. We love you, Torres. We do. We love you, Torres. We do." CFC legend. I'm serious. I don't hate the guy. The amount of stick he gets for something that happened 4 years ago is stupid.
Oh.
Well, when you spend £50 million on a guy,
and he misses an open goal.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the less I say about that, the better. But yeah, also shout out to Michael Pears. Yeah, Michael Pears, who quite rightly pointed out as well on Autosport, a poster saying that there is a $30 million prize for coming 10th in the constructors this year.
Yep.
Which would very much come in handy for a team of their size to have an extra $30 million to play with, especially considering they didn't get anything last year at all. So. Nice.
And their car company just went bankrupt this year.
Oh, well, and then you realise that Marussia the car firm went bankrupt as well.
Yeah.
I shed a tear for all our Croatian subscribers out there.
Russia's Russian.
I see, it's Russian. Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh dear.
It's in the name.
Yeah. Shut up. I didn't even realise that. That's one of the most easiest things in the world to gloss over. Marussia has Russia in its name. Let's have a look here. Also, Andrew DeBlade saying, "You can easily recreate USA 2005. All Merc and Ferrari engines don't work for some reason. Best reason wins a cookie. Red Bull romp away and win a couple of laps. Maldonado takes out one of the Toro Rossos. The other breaks down. Grosjean takes third and Kamui rocks up with a fourth. Ericsson, meanwhile, has his own crash somewhere no one has crashed before." Sure, why not? We'll just go with that. Eterna saying, "Caterham must have looked like proper fools with their nose. They might as well have just gone with a nice nose and they'd be no further down than the constructors, just more liked. Because as we all know, kids, Formula 1 is a popularity contest." Formula E took that idea and thought, "Screw it, let's take it one step further. Let's have the fans choose who passes people." Lewis Hamilton, go to Formula E, you'll win every single race.
Oh, God.
Undisputed greatest driver of all time. Let's have a look here. Anywhere else? It says, Smooth Racing says, "Has Owen written his notes on the roof?" I don't know if you can even see his roof given what's going on in his bedroom. Yeah. Let's have a look here. I think that's about everything. I know Andrew DeBay asked a Le Mans question.
Ooh. I love Le Mans.
I think should we cover that one a bit later? I think we will actually. I like a little bit of tracking now and again, so why not? And I think everybody here is keen Le Mans fans to a degree, so I think that'll be enough to get by. So Lewis needs to take a leaf out of Rory McIlroy's book, focus on what he's good at. Yeah, like, I heard that story. Didn't Rory McIlroy dump Caroline Wozniacki over the phone?
Yeah,
over the phone.
And then he
After...
won the BMW PGA or something.
Wow!
Over the phone.
and he won the PGA. He won one of the tournaments.
The BMW Championship.
Yeah.
And then finally broke it off permanently after they mailed out their wedding invitations.
Wow! Boy, what a bastard! That's incredible. Wow, that I did not know. I think it was my mum that started talking about this the other day. Like, oh, McIlroy broke up with Wozniacki because we were talking tennis. French Open's obviously on right now, so I was like, oh, did you hear that Wozniacki's single again? And I was like, oh, did they break it off? And I was like, yeah, apparently she dumped her over the phone. Like, that's the kind of thing teenage kids do in high school.
And the one thing that hurt the most, Rory McIlroy won his tournament, and Wozniacki went out in the first round of the French Open.
Bonus points in, for good referencing. I like that.
And now Wozniacki's hanging out with a Williams sister in Miami.
Hey! Both Williams sisters out in the second, as you do. Quick prediction: who wins the tournament? Isn't Nadal or Djokovic? Just quickly fire it out there.
Nadal.
Djokovic.
Whoa! Nadal. He hasn't lost the French Open match in 5 years. I used to play.
You know what? Like, if King just gained 30 pounds, he'd be like Joe Wilfred Songa.
I honestly could have been. Like, I was on the under 18 national team.
Oh wow! Nice. I could have been a contender. Okay. Great question from elusive Kev. Hi Kev. Hope the voice heals up soon. Question, and I go as follows. First on to the F1 grid. Haas, Forza Rosa, or Dre Nation Racing? So, yeah, this is, again, a little bit of backstory here. It turns out that Bernie and the FIA has approved another team to join Formula One, and that's the Forza Rosa team, I think from Romania, everybody's favourite Eastern European country, because we didn't have enough of those already. So yeah, Forza Rosa. Apparently, they seem to be much more likely to join the field in 2015 rather than Haas, which we already all know about. Haas and the F1 team there, basing themselves in America, thinking about joining. They say they're more likely to be 2016. But okay, who wants to go first on this one?
Might as well.
Oh, King raises his hand first. We'll go with King.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I honestly think Forza Rosa, if they do get on, yeah, they'll probably be first in 2015. But there'll probably be just another HRT because they have the same team principal, Colin Coles, and they're probably going to be a Ferrari junior team, but I see Haas being a better long-term survival, a longer surviving team than Forza Rosa, and then because they're taking a year off to prepare, making sure they have everything ready for that 2016 entry, and maybe right now Gene Haas said he's probably going to be using Ferrari engines, but the fact that he's waiting out 2015 may say he might jump on Honda's bandwagon.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
I just want to...
Oh, is this a challenge from Littlemore?
It is.
Go on.
It's not Honda engines, it's Renault. It's either going to be a Ferrari or a Renault engine.
Yeah, that's when they were entering 2015, because in 2015 Honda said that they would only supply McLaren for 2015.
Yeah, but they've said on here that I've got up from Autosport, the reference.
Oh, here we go. He's been Googling.
I've been researching this. It's between Ferrari and Renault in 2015 and 2016. No reference to Honda whatsoever.
Who's the quote from?
I'm just going to sit back and watch the fireworks.
Who's the quote from, Littlemore?
Don't mind me. Okay, so... Okay, Ryan, have you finished your resources?
Yeah.
Okay, so... Who was saying it was going to be Ferrari or Renault only?
Me. I can provide the link.
You can provide the link. Okay, I'll be referee on this one. Put the link in the chat, Ryan, and I will verify this. I'll be the judge, jury, and executioner on this challenge.
There we go.
Come on, Littlemore, while we're still young. There we go. Right.
It's right at the bottom.
Forza Rosa is set to get F1 until 2015 season. Let's scroll down.
So that has fueled speculation is the start of the sentence.
Oh!
But there's no quote from anyone from the. Wait. I said Haas would use. I said Haas.
I don't see the words Honda.
Oh,
I said.
The thing is, Ryan.
I said Haas would either use Ferrari or Honda engines. I didn't say Forza Rossa.
The thing is, it's speculation, Ryan.
Yeah, it's speculation though.
Yeah, but that's.
Yeah, but they don't use
the
Honda.
point?
silence!
This is about a completely different team. I said Haas would sit out 2015 and either use Ferrari or Honda engines. I wasn't talking about Forza Rossa.
Order in the court of Harrison. Thank you. Also, nice comment from Nino in the chat saying Ryan is lying.com. That's.
Takes the week F1hotmail.com.
Of course, Ryan Littlemore himself has an overtakes for the week plug in his own banner because of course he does. But you know what? This is special. This is special. And I'll tell you why this is special. This is special because this might be the worst challenge in the history of Around the Corner. Littlemore has found a post on Autosport which is nothing but speculation.
And it's about the other team that I'm talking about. The other team.
No sources and the other team. This is not a fail. This is a super fail. Oh, Littlemore has left the building. Get back here, Ryan.
I'm still here.
Take your punishment like a man. Quite frankly, I should have King fly over to Nottingham, bend you over, and spank you.
With his baseball bat.
Yes, with his baseball bat. That was the worst challenge in the history of Around the Corner. And you know what? As punishment, that's a 3-point penalty for sheer, complete incompetence. It's not an Around the Corner without a little more derp. And there it is. That's unbelievable. But yeah, I do not understand that one at all. But yeah, Ryan, if you want to redeem some points and salvage yourself, now would be a good time, and preferably with your face on the camera.
Wait. Yeah, there we go.
What was that little angry protest all about there? Jolting the camera once on like a butthurt woodwiss.
No, I will never be a Scott Woodwiss. Ever since what I did to
No,
him.
you just ruined the show for him.
Just you wait, King. Just you wait. I'm gonna do a Scott Woodwiss on you.
I love this show.
Just you wait. I'll do a Woodwiss. A Scott Woodwiss moment.
No, Woodwiss doesn't get 3-point penalties.
That will cost King the win tonight.
Okay, go on, little more. While we're still young again.
What was the question?
Oh, for God's sake!
Who will be on the grid first?
Haas or Forza Rossa, and just build it from there. Preferably mentioning which engines are probably going to be the right supplier. Just thought I'd give you a few bit of advice.
I'm just gonna keep this short and sweet, if I'm honest. Haas will stay, won't come on the grid straight away, and Forza Rossa coming in next year, and they're not even gonna last even a single season. I feel. That's it. That's all I've got to say. I'm giving a show.
Is this damage limitation?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question here. What makes you think they won't even last a full season?
I just feel that. I just think that with new teams, if they just jump in the boat straight away, it's like, oh, look, Formula 1, let's just go in, and all that, then I've heard, like, recently, I was going to keep it to the appeal one, but I might as well do it now, they're changing the rules apparently. Like Pirelli like contributing to with the FIA to like have wider tyres and less downforce on the car. So they're gonna probably go back to the olden days of the 70s or 80s. Apparently, I've heard on there. And Felipe Massa's actually urged this to happen because apparently he's been talking to the drivers and stuff. So
Maybe we need to start winning again.
if they bring it in when, well, not next season but the season after or something like that, then Haas will be at the advantage because they'll have a year to prepare themselves for the new regulations and stuff. But I just feel that Forza Rossa are going to be a Caterham, but worse.
Wow.
Worse than HRT.
To be fair, the guy in charge is not what you call ideal. Let's have a look here. It says Forza Rossa, another Colin Cole's project, which is going to fail. Midland Spiker, HRT, Lotus, LMP1. Don't see why the guy's being given another chance in F1. Yeah, I can see why that makes sense. Who haven't I asked about this one yet? I think I haven't asked Owen yet, so let's go, Owen. In pink.
Yeah. Forza Rossa. Well, where I live, there is a lot of Eastern Europeans. 1/5 of the population where I live is Eastern European.
Owen, this is England.
Yeah. Anyway, to my point, Forza Rossa, or whatever they're called, I can't even remember the name. Laughing at Ryan's fail so much.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, they're not even going to make it to the grid, I don't think. Haas are definitely more like they're going to make it to the grid, and they're going to make it long. I feel they're going to make it long term. Whether it'll work out in Charlotte, I don't think it will. They'll probably end up having to move to the UK, but I don't think Forza Rossa will even make it to the grid. Dre Nation Racing, yeah, they'll make it at some point.
Yeah, I'm starting up a Kickstarter for it. We'll get there.
Yeah.
When it is about 300 million, I think we can get there.
Yeah.
Stretch goal, we buy Sebastian Vettel for our team. If it's maybe $500 million, we might be able to get there. But yeah, the comments are a fun place right now. This is oh boy. Andrew DeBlade, what did Ryan say about losing his early lead? Alex Southgates, hashtag super fail Ryan Littlemore. The Savage Trout, that was worse than Gridwalker's challenges. Yeah, Gridwalker's one appearance on this show, and he's the only guy to still quit the show early on purpose. It's the stuff of legend. Age 14 Beast, Ryan's challenge almost as bad as Nottingham Forest. Oh, God. The roast is real. And Zonda saying, "Oh my God, Dre, the hat, the hat! Why, Dre? Why?" Because Harrison, I'm the man of 101 hats, and Trilby's are cool. Don't all laugh at once. I said, don't all laugh at once. And also Tom 97 is saying, use the Joker. Also, Donovan, King versus Littlemore, it's the battle of the century. Get your gloves out, boys.
Wouldn't be the same as me and Woodwest.
Okay. Also, I've got to give a shout out to Side Sammy, who asks me every around the corner, without fail. He always asks me, like, was Lewis Hamilton lucky in 2008? No, he wasn't. He had the most points. It's how these things work. Did I ask you about Haas, by the way?
Sorry?
What about Haas?
Did I ask you about that question? I don't think I did, did I? In your own time, Nino.
Oh, me? Oh, no, you haven't, sorry.
No, go for it, mate. Go for it. Sorry,
Okay.
I almost moved on there.
Sorry.
Realised.
Like, from what I've heard, I've heard more about Haas than Forza Rossa, but recently, I think a couple of days ago during the Monaco Grand Prix, there was an interview by BBC of Patrick Head, and they were interviewing him about like the rising costs of the engines.
Mhm.
Apparently, he said, the normal price of a 800 horsepower engine is probably about 2 million euros, but the teams are probably paying about 10 times that. So
Wow.
so unless there's some huge investment from for either team, for Haas or for Rosso, or there's some help from Bernie Eccleston himself, then I doubt either team will survive. But from what I've seen, I think Haas looks like a stronger bet, and whether they'll be in the grid next season, I don't know. I think they prefer to be in for 2016 rather than 2015. Gives them a bit more time. So but yeah, I think Haas will be a better bet.
So these guys are paying 20 million bucks for an engine now. What?
Heck.
According to Patrick Head, yes.
Yeah, some teams haven't even paid for them yet.
Yeah, apparently
Lotus.
From what I heard the other day, that Lotus are behind on their engine payments.
Yeah.
And Renault might actually just stop supplying them, which I think is just incredible.
Maybe their bank transfer got lost in the cloud.
It's the difference between losing and not making it to the track or something from Aramis Parody.
That's okay. Point for King. That's a world-class reference. That is. Wow, 20 million an engine, 5 engines for the season at least. That's just per car. So you're looking at 10. That's 200 million bucks on engines alone. That's a mind-boggling amount of money. That's wow, 200 million bucks. You can almost buy Hamilton a sword with that kind of money. Says Andrew DeBlay saying, "Can I be technical director? As a new engineering graduate, I could do with a job." Nice one, Andrew. Congratulations on passing the degree, though. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Where I'm from, Donovan, at least 60% of the population is Polish. Are you from England, Donovan? Because if that's the case, that's about right. Insert Polish immigration joke here. Insert UK Independence Party joke here. Okay. Let's have a look. I think I'm almost out of. Keep the questions coming in the chat, folks. Let's have a look on the Twitter as well. Let's go for one of our slightly off-topic questions. It's from my man Master Swift, one of the coolest guys on Twitter, actually. Big fan of the guy. So, hey Sasha, good to see you. There's 2 questions actually, because he's a greedy little shit like that. But his off-topic question is: who wins the World Cup? Who wins the World Cup? Maybe in a non-F1 question, Ryan can do a little bit better. Nino.
Okay.
Don't say Colombia. Don't say Colombia.
I'll be wary of the warning you gave me before the show started. But
the warning was mention Falcao's leg, and I take 10 points off him.
But I think the best bet is Brazil. I think they look like the strongest package of a team, and you know they'll easily top the group in my opinion. And the home atmosphere, of the home crowd should push them on to the final. And depends who they get in the final, I think, Spain are an easier bet. I think, Spain, of some of their players, some of the golden generation of players, I think this is their final major tournament or final World Cup. So this would be probably the last chance for Spain to get another major victory for a while. But there are other teams like Germany, I think, have a good, solid team. Portugal are good as well. I think they'll go far. I think the strongest bet is Brazil. I think if it's Brazil versus Spain, I think Brazil will win the final easily in the final. If it's Brazil versus Germany, it'll be tougher. But my opinion is Brazil.
Brazil at home. Also, putting Portugal in the same breath as Spain is kind of insulting to Spain. Might just rename that country Ronaldo at this point. Like his fans seem to do. Let's be honest, that's the reason why half of you guys are Madrid fans. Right, but anyway. Owen!
I think the Germans will win it. No, I think England.
Oh, no.
No, the Germans...
Hold it. Are you trying to invoke my wrath, Quenby?
Nah. Seriously, I think the Germans will win it. They've got a very strong squad. They've got Neuer, a very strong keeper. They've got a strong midfield, Schweinsteiger, Khedira, Ozil, players like that. Their up front is probably their weakest point in the whole squad, scoring goals, but they can defend solidly and really well. And if they get a tough team like Brazil, Argentina, tough team along the way, maybe even Holland, Spain, someone like that, they will be able to defend them rock solidly. They'll basically be able to do a Chelsea and park the bus. So I think they will go all the way. As long as they can hold it all the way through defensively, don't have major defensive issues, and manage to get a couple of goals, maybe even one goal in the final, probably from a midfielder, then they'll win it.
Okay. Owen goes with the Germans. King.
Well, my pick is the United States. No, I'm not stupid. We're not even making out the group. But my heart says Germany, but my mind says Brazil. For one reason and one reason only. Brazil has never lost in Brazil. And the nation of Brazil, they really need their team to win right now. It hasn't been great there. The people have absolutely hated the fact that they're hosting the World Cup. The government needs them to win for that reason. And it's almost going to be like South Africa in like the 1994 Rugby World Cup, where they're going to piggyback on the support of their nation to win the World Cup.
Wow, at 94. Oh, hang on. Nino has raised his hand. I know why, but go on, Nino.
When King said Brazil have never lost in Brazil, wind back to 1950 when they lost the final match against Uruguay.
Yeah, I have heard this stat before. Brazil have not lost a World Cup game or World Cup qualifying game in their own country since 1954. So it's not permanent, but
no one on that team is playing in the game.
Try and defend this one, King. Penalty point for King, point for Nino, good correction. And finally, penalty point. That's you, Ron.
I'm going to say Spain. Just the fact that they've got some all-round players, I will say, but they're coming to the end of their careers. Casillas is one of them. This will be his last World Cup by some miraculous thing. He may still play, we never know. My only issue with them is their strike force, and one particular player. I think some of you may know where I'm going with this. Kafkov Torres, who hasn't played a lot of games for Chelsea, I will admit, this season. And I feel that his career's gone down the toilet, and I think his World Cup aspects will go down the drain as well, and I don't think he'll get a game at all.
Don't let Tom Martinez hear you say this.
Well,
We come after you with a crossbow and a knife.
But a fact as well is that if it's a final Brazil-Spain, Spain have beaten Brazil on their home patch in the Confederations Cup last year.
That's a reference.
No, they haven't.
I know. Yeah, they did. I watched it on holiday. That's how I know. That's how I know my reference.
Brazil beat Spain.
Brazil won the Confederations
Brazil
Cup.
won the cup against Spain.
I'm just going to stop it there. You know my football is pointless. But I will say that Spain have sort of got an advantage over most teams because they've been to Spain. Oh my God, Brazil. They've been to Brazil. They know the climatic conditions and all that, and yeah. Also, shout out to England. They'll get knocked out in the group stages quite comfortably. I'm going to say that. They'll probably get some abuse, but it's true.
Guys,
knows it's true.
Can we just confirm that Ryan thought that Spain won the Confederations Cup final?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Little more.
I just want to double check. Yeah, I just want to double check.
Littlemore, do you get your research off like one of those toilet doors you find in dodgy pubs?
Javi Martinez was here June 1st, 2014. I'm just going to wait for the moment where Ryan actually finds out that Brazil won the Confederations Cup and just see the look on his face. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Considering the score, you should give me 3 penalty points.
What was that?
He's asking for penalty points.
Ooh. How much of a sucker for punishment am I?
3. Because it was 3-0. Brazil won 3-0.
I like the reference. It's very around the horn style. You know, 3 goals, 3 points. Was there an objection there from you, King, or was it just were you just finger wagging for another reason?
No, I was gonna be nice again, and be like, only give him 1 point, but go with 3.
No. Littlemore has fully embraced this gimmick, and I will honour his request because I'm a very generous person. I was only going to take away 1, but since he was so insistent,
I wasn't being nuts like that. Jesus.
That's a double mega derp from Littlemore. That takes his penalty point total to 6, which is the 2nd highest in the history of this show.
I have more than that.
Hmm?
I swear I have more than -6.
Oh, don't worry. We had a show with 10 once.
Sick.
In Series 1, you had a show where you started with a 10-point handicap and still lost it all purely on penalty points. Yeah. Only you would find a way to make that happen. Let's see you guys' predictions for the World Cup then. Maternus said, I think it's true that no European team has won a World Cup in South America.
That is true as well.
I think that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Good stat, Joe. Benny, look, Maximilian's dog is commenting on our chat. But honestly, Germany and Spain are my picks for the final. Belgium is overrated. Holland's defence is bad.
Oh.
Brazil, I think, is unlikely, but being at home might help. Germany are only bringing 1 striker to their World Cup, and that's closer. that's possible, but they'll bring other guys. They might bring Kevin Volland, and they might bring Mario Gomez. Actually, Gomez didn't actually make their preliminary squad, so they won't bring Gomez over. But yeah, records are there to be broken. Lampard, I just see it on BBC Sport that Frank Lampard has said that he is likely to retire from international football for England after the World Cup. And a lot of people saying that England will make it. Like Miles saying England will make the semis.
Whoa!
What? What?
If England's making the semis, the US is making the final.
No. This is how confident I am in this, right? I'm a Manchester United fan, but I will buy a James Milner England jersey if England make the semi-finals. You heard me say this live on air. I will buy a James Milner England shirt if England make the semis. I am that confident they're not even making it out of their group.
I'll buy a Tottenham shirt if they make the semis.
I will buy a Derby County shirt.
Nobody cares about Derby County.
I'm so dumb.
Nino's on fire today. Nino is on fire. Wow. Let's have a look. Honduras to win the World Cup. Ejamax saying the hat is pumped, right? Nice. I hope the word pump is a good thing. Also, I'm not going to make this an official question, but will Qatar host the 2022 World Cup? I think they'll lose it. I think the corruption talk right now is a little bit too strong for my liking. But FIFA are corrupt bastards, so who knows what could happen, really. There might.
But I think they mentioned it on ESPN yesterday, and pardon the interruption. Like international sport is basically based off of corruption. Like it wouldn't exist without corruption. Like that's been the Olympic Games since the beginning. Mm-hmm. I think the fact is that this was a point of ridiculousness where it's like players can possibly die in the World Cup. This is not cool.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason why it became a problem with Europe in general is the fact that it might have had to be played during the winter.
Yeah, and it completely messes up with our season schedule because they put a lot of Premier League games December, early January. It's a very busy time of year for the Premier League. They're always the busiest in December and January, so that would wreak havoc with international calendars. And it would give certain countries an advantage because Spain and Italy, for example, have winter breaks during.
And the US plays in the summer.
And the US plays in the summer, so it's all over the friggin' place. So yeah, absolutely, completely agree with you on that one. If anyone else wants to chip in while I have a look at the chat, go right ahead. But I still think there's plenty of time for them to change the venue around from Qatar if they need it, if they need to at least. But we've got plenty of years anyway. Like when London got the Olympics, that was like 2004, 2005 when the announcement was made for 2012. That was like 7 years away. So it's easily one of the things that can easily be changed, I would say.
Hey, the U.S. can host this year's World Cup right now. We have all the stadiums ready to go.
Yeah, fine. England could do it quite easily right now, I'm sure, as well. They got the Olympic Stadium. They have the Millennium Stadium over in Cardiff, Old Trafford, Villa Park, the Emirates. England could do a World Cup tomorrow if they wanted to. Just have a fancy opening ceremony and have Tina Turner miss another penalty. Hope you like that reference there. I was watching World Cup's most shocking moments on BBC Three when I was on holiday. But yeah, Tina Turner's missed penalty was like number 8 on that list. Wow. Like the world's most obviously blatant lip syncing and her missing the penalty, which was just friggin' hilarious. And it's a bigger goal than usual as well. It's even funnier. Fine if you get a chance. Iran will win from the Savage Trout. Rio Miyachi going Brazil versus Colombia in the final.
Oh, I'll pray for that.
Yeah, Colombian, Nino, wouldn't you? We will do it in the name of Falcao's leg. So we're look here. Ryan looks to be back on form of his penalty points. Shame I couldn't make it, and that's from Tom Stanley. Little, just a depressive, awkward silence in the corner right now. It's hilarious. Let's have a look. Any more comments? Yeah. Andrew de Blade, Brazil will win due to home field advantage. A dark horse, hurts to say it, mind you, is France. They've got an easy draw, got rid of the prima donnas, and having watched them play Norway the other night, they're very well organised now. Won't win it, but semis is reachable. Yeah. Like, I know people have Belgium down as a dark horse, but if everybody calls them a dark horse, they're not really a dark horse, if that makes any sense. So, you know, I guess that's one of those things. Right, back to the Twitters and the questions about other stuff. Yeah, Richard Evans, I think, puts a good question. Hi, Richard, loyal fan of the show, always watches every Around the Corner, so shout out to you, Richard. Do you think we will see Mercedes dominate by winning all of the races this season, or can other top teams win any? So, are Mercedes going to clean out this season? Anyone wants to play a joker? No?
No.
Okay. Let's put Littlemore into bat first. Hold him! Joking. Go.
In all honesty, no. Unless there's some miraculous weather, monsoon conditions, and on that. I think the only team that I feel that could really challenge Mercedes is Red Bull. Really. If they sort out their engine reliability, then they could be up there. And I think Ricciardo's the only one out. Vettel and all that will probably be the only one that can challenge them. Ferrari, no, their car's just a pile of crap like it was a few seasons ago. And
oh god, now the Alonso fans are going to get at me.
But Alonso will probably put his heart and soul into that car, which he always does. And
he's amazing. He does it in the weakest cars. He's a genius. He's a god amongst men. No, sorry, carry on.
Lotus, no. Obviously, apparently Canada's going to be even worse than they expected, pouring to Pastor Maldonado.
Runs down the entire field again.
Teams, don't worry. But
you mentioned Lotus.
they were up there last season until But yeah, there's a lot of tracks that Mercedes are quite good at from what I saw last season. But yeah, it just depends how Red Bull develop their car over the summer into Silverstone and into the final European leg and the Asia Tour down across the pond that way, and of course when you go to America and Russia, and also the double points as well at Abu Dhabi. So it's not over. I mean, but in all honesty, I just think Mercedes are too dominant.
It's not over, but I think Mercedes are too dominant.
For Red Bull to catch up.
Okay, Ryan. -2. No, I'm joking. King.
Oh, I'm probably gonna leave why Mercedes won't lose the appeal round. Right now I'm just gonna focus on why the other teams won't win. Let's see. Okay. Red Bull, yes, they have a great chassis behind them, but Renault's engines, it's pretty much kaput until like there's a long enough break for them to really have enough time to develop. So maybe when they come off the August break for Italy and Belgium, but besides that, no one else can really seem to challenge them. Yes, Lotus seems to be catching up with their chassis, but they too are also Renault powered. Ferrari, their car and engine is just horrible. So it really seems that it's barring any failures from Mercedes, it's pretty much their run of the show for the rest of this season.
Hooray! Yeah, Owen. Oh, he's gone, has he?
The only way Mercedes...
Oh, for God's sake. We'll get back to you. Nino?
Well, yeah, I think... Oh.
Yep. He's back.
Oh, now he's back. I think. Owen? Oh, God. Take cover in mine and puts his internet out. Oh, for God's sake!
I mean, he can hear us, but we can't hear him.
This is I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Arnold is amongst us. Owen better hurry up then, as Ryan Littlemore contemplates depression in the corner. Nino?
Yeah, I think the only thing stopping Mercedes taking the clean sweep of 19 races is Mercedes themselves, I think. Unless we see in Canada that Renault have sorted their motor out, but I don't think they will. I think Mercedes are their own enemies in not taking the full 19 victories. It's almost been done. I think back in 1988 when McLaren took 15 out in 16. And the reason they didn't take the full sweep because both cars were tired. I think because both cars had engine problems. I don't know. And we've obviously seen Mercedes have their own engine problems back when Hamilton retired in Australia. We haven't seen any problems since, but it could happen maybe. Unless they have their own engine problems or there's something really wrong, as in wet weather causes them to both fall out, or in some non-conspiracy way they both take each other out in one little race. I think Mercedes will take the full 19, and it's unfortunate, but that's how it is.
Is that what we Formula 1 fans wanted? Now, let's wait a couple of minutes and see if Owen can fix himself up a little bit here, because all I see is hang on. Look at that cheesy grin. I see like at least 15 shades of cheddar there. Owen, are you with us? Ted has a no. Oh dear. In the meantime, I see Miles is continuing to defend England's semi-final chances. Saying things along the lines of nobody thought England would make the semi-finals in 1990. Yeah, but our squad was so much better in 1990.
We had Gazza.
We have Paul Gascoigne and Gary Lineker and Gareth Southgate and David Platt, and now we have Ross Barkley, Frank Lampard, and Daniel Congerman Sturridge.
And Danny Welbeck.
And Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney ain't done shit internationally. Rooney does well when we're playing teams like the mighty San Marino and Montenegro. Like, Rooney has not shown anything near his best at any international tournament he's been to. And at 27, I don't see where... Like 28 years old now, there shouldn't be an excuse anymore with Rooney. He needs a big international tournament now. And I still think Daniel Sturridge is our best hope. What's the Giri saying, Drake, could you have some other people on the screen as well? Your face isn't that pretty that I could watch it for an hour. Well, excuse you. Kimi to win at a wet Spa. The whole Kimi Raikkonen at Spa thing is like I still see it as like an urban myth. It's like a werewolf or a unicorn. There's a dog barks behind me as I said the word werewolf. That wasn't a good sign. But I'm not sure about Kimi at Spa, to be honest. And also, Tom Buzz said it was Diana Ross, not Tina Turner. Shut up. Well played. I did indeed Google it afterwards. I was like, oh, shit, I got it wrong again. I always get it wrong. God, Miles Pardo is one of those guys that just beats the drum of England so bad you'd think he was Piers Morgan. That's not a good thing. We're still trying to get Owen back. I'm giving him every possible chance to get back in the call before we move on. We've only got about 2 questions to go as well, because we've been on about an hour 20 already. We've still got an appeal round to get through. Come on, Owen. Come on, cross your fingers, hope for a divine miracle. And also, thanks for the 33 of you who are watching as well. That's a very high number for around the corner, so thank you. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Especially given this show has been pretty hilarious for all kinds of reasons. Ryan having more penalty points than Vettel's had world championships. We're all going to hell for saying Hamilton's a bit of a crybaby. And I'm also going to hell because I didn't denounce Alonso the son of Christ. So I've ticked off every major box of generic Formula 1 fan hell. All I've got to do now is dispute Ayrton Senna's legacy, and I've got the full house.
Littlemore falling asleep? Is Littlemore falling asleep?
I think he is, yeah.
I might as well just get a pillow while I wait.
Is it?
No, is that
working?
Just about.
Is it? It is.
Your mic's on mute.
Mike's on mute, Owen. Mike!
Might as well
It's
just get,
fine
I might as well just
now,
get the
it's
milk
fine.
and cookies at this rate.
You know, I shouldn't have done that gesture when describing the microphone. That's not good. It's like, have you tried working the shaft?
Oh, wow.
Owen's froze again.
Oh, God, such a delay. Oh, Owen. God.
Get off that PlusNet internet.
I'm giving Owen till 10. If he's not there by 10, I'm gonna have to move on. Because we're already.
Has he got the lag hacks or something from Ben, or he's not paid the meter?
Oh, it's Ian that Marduk joke. That's funny. Yeah, nah, I'm joking. Yeah, come on, Owen. Hustle. We were going so well as well. We went like a whole half an hour without a major technical problem. Saying Harris is saying better than going to hell for Ryan's John Button joke.
Oh,
no.
Owen in the chat saying the brothers on the internet will not get off. Owen, I'm giving you till the top of the hour, mate. If you can't get on, I'm gonna have to call it a night.
His brother must be downloading some heavy stuff.
Lots of heavy stuff.
No further comment there.
He's downloaded the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix. It's a long file. Maybe. I'm doing that. I'm doing that tonight. I'm doing that for a feature on my website. I'm rewatching the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix for the first time since it eternally scarred my mind back in 2011. I remember seeing the famous BBC montage afterwards, and like my brother played it as a prank. Like 2 days afterwards, and I punched him in the head as a result. Oh, Vettel's lost one. He's fuming. Fuck you, Brundle. even though nobody talks about the bump that Button gave Alonso during that Grand Prix, we'll just quietly chalk that one over. But
Fernando turned into him. Fernando turned into him. Just saying.
Of course. That explains it. We'll get Matty G to give you a musical number about that. Says Donovan saying, "Stop crying, you English. Us Irish have the mighty Simon Cox, David Ford, the legend John O'Shea, and Lord God Connor Salmon, and Robbie Keane."
Simon Cox.
Owen saying, "I feel bad for Owen. First he was born with the inferior version of the name, and now his internet is dying." Owen, because he's got the Irish way of spelling it, the E-O-I-N way of spelling it, which is obviously the cool way to spell Owen. Come on, get back in here, you tit. Right, Andrew said, "No, don't bring that up again." I'll have to dedicate like a whole weekend to watching that race because I think the whole broadcast went about 5 hours by the time it had finished.
Yeah.
I actually saw one of my friends as well post a transcript of all the conversation between Coulthard and Brundle during the downtime, which I must admit was world-class ad-libbing. That's the famous red-shouldered blackbird there. Yeah, that was Brundle dry sarcasm at its finest. But I'm saying, also saying Robbie Keane, Wolves legend, and you said you forgot Johnny Walters, Chelsea FC legend.
Wow.
Oh dear. You can see we're scraping the bow when it comes to time filling here, folks. We are no Brundles in this situation.
Talk about the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix. Apparently, it's live on Sky F1 now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How about that? I wonder if they'll add the downtime in between and get a bit of Jake Humphrey and Eddie Jordan coverage in there. And, I doubt it, but yeah, apparently people regard that as the best race of the modern era, and I can't blame them for thinking that. It is a classic. I mean, if you ever had Hollywood write a Formula One race, that would probably be it. I mean,
of course you would cast. Of course you would cast the German as the villain, always.
Of course! have the scruffy English Brit as the hero, and have him run through the pit 6 times, give us a feel-good story about falling in love with Jessica Michelbata, and then have him win on the final lap. That's the definition of a Hollywood movie. And then we get the loving scene at the end of the movie, like any James Bond film. And at the end of the film, and then there's a sequel after John Button dies.
Oh god!
Bang!
Oh god!
Had to happen. No sign of Owen coming back yet. Still giving him another 3 minutes. Sorry for the delays, guys.
Oh Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love
right now.
In all thy son's command.
2 questions.
Glow. What?
Two questions. 1, why do you know the Canadian national anthem off by heart? And 2, why are you singing it now?
Because we gotta fill the dead time. Gotta do it somehow.
It's come to this. We are singing the Canadian national anthem. Lord have mercy.
Did Jacques Villeneuve win a race?
Hmm?
Did Jacques Villeneuve win a race? That's why we're singing it?
No, he was driving like a complete dick at the Indy 500, but besides that, he's done nothing.
Jacques Villeneuve is just the biggest hit I've ever seen in my life.
Like, if you haven't heard my latest podcast with Athlete VG, where we talked about how much of a dick Jacques Villeneuve is, shameless.
Go on, King. You started, so you might as well finish.
About how much Jacques Villeneuve was being a dick that day. And Athlete was there. He didn't even know. He didn't even know Jacques was driving that car until he came home and looked it up.
So what was Jacques Villeneuve doing that was so bad? I was like, I didn't notice that myself, to be honest.
Well, you don't try to race people side by side going into a corner at 200 miles an hour.
No, that's not advisable. It's definitely not advisable. Villeneuve still
On lap 10. On lap 10.
On lap 10. Let's get our suicide pass out of the way early. So yeah. Saying, goes into the chat quickly. Owen is clearly trying to copy Bottas at Monaco with his technical problems.
Wow.
Well played, Trout. Ryan and Brian, Littlemore will be right back, by the way. But I'm saying, are Sauber getting points this season? Yeah, they probably will. I mean, they would have gotten points if it wasn't for Gutierrez derping them up at the Rascasse. I think he was set for 9th place at the time, so that would have been something. He's joined the call again, hopefully with his actual face this time.
Is it working?
There we go.
Yes.
And 10 o'clock on the dot.
Yes.
You jammy bastard.
Right. What was the question again?
Oh,
You know
God.
what? I'm just going to give you 5 points and we'll move on.
But only 2 people, only me and like no one else went this round.
Hang on. Who else didn't get a look in that last round?
Me.
You know?
Yeah.
Go on if you want. I'll just give you 5 points now. It's up to you.
What was the question again? Can't remember.
Oh, was it? I think it was whether Mercedes would win all the races or not. I'm not 100%
You
sure.
did answer that.
I did answer that. Yeah.
Yeah, you did answer that. Yeah, we're cool.
Okay,
We're cool.
yeah.
We're good. We're good. Very good. Littlemore, what are you eating?
A toasted cheese panini.
Your soul, by the looks of it. Saying as well, we've got comments in the chat saying, replace Owen with Piers Morgan. No, I value my sanity. Or what's left of it by the time the show goes off the air. Harris is saying, to be fair, I know the Australian, French, New Zealand, German, and Italian national anthems. That's quite interesting, actually. This isn't QI, Harrison. But well done. That is actually quite cool. I will learn the Italian national anthem. That's only national anthem matters.
I just know all the English-speaking countries. So
yeah, tick them off. Why not? Raikkonen supporter. Oh God, I've been a massive disliker of Jacques Villeneuve for years. How has he a World Drivers' Championship? How? By having a stupidly fast car at the time, and he still didn't win it. But yeah, Jacques Villeneuve is a tit. I can't stand him. He drives like an idiot. He talks like an idiot. He sings like an idiot. As my mom once taught me, if it looks like shit and it smells like shit, chances are, you know the rest. Well, I think we have time for maybe 1, maybe 2 more questions. So if you've got anything, let me know. Also saying as well, Williams took out Prost. Williams took out Senna and Monza. Prost had a turbo failure. That was the race that McLaren failed to win in '88. I think that's what JYY is referencing. Will Renault full power in Canada be enough to be close to Merc? Probably not. I would probably say. To be honest, but let's have a look in my Twitter page. If anything coming up here. Not really. Okay, we'll talk Le Mans because I know that was mentioned before as well. What do you reckon for Le Mans, folks?
I'm gonna kind of just be honest. I don't really watch it, so I only know 2 teams. That's Audi and Aston Martin. That's all I know.
Owen.
Is there a Joker question for this?
You playing your Joker for this question?
I would.
Okay. We have a Joker in the house.
Lovely.
I'm not talking about Nino either.
Oh wow.
It's a good thing. Owen, you played your Joker. Go for it.
What's the question?
Oh.
For God's sake.
Who do you think will win at Le Mans? Come on, Owen, pay attention.
Toyota, no doubt about it. They have got the most. They've got the best hybrid system. They've got the most power producing from their hybrid system. Their engine alone is a V8. It produces 600 brake horse. Their hybrid system is 400 brake horse, so they're producing nearly 1,000 brake horse.
Jesus.
The Audi has got cornering, but at Le Mans there's a massive straight, so it doesn't help them. And Porsche, well, they're still in development, and they may get a podium, but I don't see them doing it.
But Mark Webber, Owen, Mark Webber's now a part of the team. Have they told you about this yet?
Whoa. The only thing that Mark Webber does good at Le Mans is go upside down.
He'll have a hybrid failure.
Point the king.
He'll have a hybrid failure at Le Mans. It's a similar system to the Curse, so he'll probably have a hybrid failure. Yeah. But I don't see anyone but a Toyota winning it unless they have a massive crash, which, to be honest, it's Le Mans. It very much easily could happen. Anthony Davidson had his massive crash in 2012. And last year only one of them finished, and that was down more to luck than anything because it was basically a lap down on the car in front, which was an Audi. So if Toyota look the favourites, but Audi are always a dark horse because you never know with Audi because they've got so much strength at Le Mans.
Okay. 6-7 points on the Joker for 14. That's pretty sick. Owen seems to have chipped in at the right time after banishing for the better part of half an hour. Nino.
Yeah, I think Toyota would do it again. I think so far in the World Endurance Championship they've won both races in Silverstone and in Spa. So they're looking the strongest. Obviously, Audi will be there on their tail, but like Owen said, they'll probably need a crash from Toyota to stop them winning it. I don't think Porsche are anywhere near Toyota or Audi.
Webber, Nino, he's so good.
just like his Red Bull times, he can't win because he has, better teammates.
Bonus point.
Moving on. Bar something horrible from Toyota, I think it'll be theirs to win. I don't think Audi and Porsche are close enough.
Yep. Okay. King.
Yeah, I'm gonna play my Joker.
Oh, he's playing his Joker. Hello. Okay. Go on, King.
Now, let's say we do make a prediction. I'm gonna predict Toyota. But this is Le Mans. The two previous rounds of the World Endurance Championship has only been 6-hour races. We have to go twice around the clock for 24 hours. It is unpredictable. Anything could happen, especially with the traffic you see there. What McNish went like almost over the gravel into the tire barrier last year after getting hit by a Ferrari, and then and then Davidson with his accident also with a Ferrari. Anything could happen at Le Mans. You could have failures. You'd have anything. It's a toss-up. That's what makes Le Mans so interesting. Yeah. And I think this year it's even more interesting because it's the first time where there are actually 3 major manufacturer teams. Usually it's just a showdown between 2 teams. It's either Audi against Peugeot and then more recently Audi against Toyota. Right now, any of the 3 major teams could win it.
Okay, interesting indeed. Just look out, you might be taken out by McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, God.
Yes, I'm a Grey's Anatomy fan for those guys in the chat that are watching, and good luck to Patrick Dempsey, our man there. Because he's awesome, and my mum friggin' loves him. Like, I think that's probably the only reason why she watches that anymore. And finally, Littlemore.
I'm going to be completely honest, I haven't really watched a lot of Le Mans, so I have no idea. But I do know there's 3 teams. But one thing to look out for is Nissan and their weird-looking car. I don't know if any of you've seen this. It's called the Z-Odd. Just going to quickly show on there. That's what it looks like.
Isn't it the Delta Wing?
Yeah,
Delta
it's based off the Delta Wing.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
based on the Delta Wing. And that has been on the track for the first time during the practice and all that they have. And I want to see how they do well there. My most specific area I'm going to be talking about is the GTs, the Corvette, and the Aston Martin rivalry, which I know has been going for quite a long time now. The Ferraris look pretty good this season, so I think there's going to be a three-way battle. I would not say that, and I know Owen's going to say something.
Owen.
There's no. Oh, bugger.
Hang on a minute.
Shit, there is a factory Corvette.
Yeah, the factory Corvette, America's pride and joy in international racing.
Probably one of my GTs.
Guys, hang on. Ryan, you may have just been topped for worst challenge in the history of this show. And you know what makes this worse? Owen actually is an avid WEC watcher, and he done goofed. Owen.
Yeah.
How? Explain yourself.
I was thinking of the wrong class in GT. I was thinking GTE AM, not Pro. Oh. Pro.
Oh, I'm swinging the hammer on this one, boy.
Oh.
That's debatably worse than Littlemore's goof from earlier. Well, one of his goofs from earlier. There's multiple. I'm going to match it. The same -3 that Littlemore had. But carry on, good sir.
As I was continuing to be rudely interrupted by the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Ooh!
Yeah, there's going to be a nice three-way battle between Ferrari, Aston Martin, and Corvette this year. And I think the Corvettes will come out on top again. They've been pretty consistent over the years in this event. And briefly on, obviously, the LMP1 class, which is like the Audis, Toyotas, and the Porsche as well. I think Audi might win it. They have the experience. Obviously, Tom Christensen, he's won it 9 times over his career, mostly with Audi. They've got Dahal, I can't remember how you say his name as well. I don't think he's doing it this year. No.
Yeah, you're retired, Littlemore. Come on.
Yeah, but I don't follow this sort of thing. All right. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to be different from the rest of the lot and say that I think Audi might squeeze it because it is a long event, and as King says, anything can happen in these events. It could be weather conditions, there could be traffic, there could be incidents. We've seen it before in the past. So,
Who's going with the hipster pick?
but I think everyone will be talking about the Nissan Z-Odd car and see how that goes.
Okay, interesting point of view there. Interesting point of view. Okay, well, I think we got time for one more question, which means Ryan Littlemore, Nino, your jokers are active by default because this is the final question.
Well, we could use them in the appeal round. That's where we could use them in the appeal round.
No, why use them in the appeal round? It's my rules.
Okay.
The appeal round tends to be higher scoring anyway, so that's why I don't make it a rule where you can use your joker in it. That's the reason why. Just thought I'd point that out there. Well, my comment section is really slow right now, but we'll settle it through. We're going to go for what Saeed went for on this one. And he said, who do you think is the most overrated F1 driver in the paddock? Most overrated driver. I'm going to give you 1 second to think this over. That's in 1 second. Right. I'm going to go with Owen first.
Oh, why me first? Can you go someone else first?
No.
Oh.
Do you really not want to go first?
No, I really don't want to go first.
Does anyone want to go first? I think that's a no. I'm gonna force it to somebody. Nino.
Oh no.
Gotta be somebody.
Damn it.
I thought, why not go for the guy that shares 83% of my name? You've got cartons of orange juice on the side. Ooh. This is
well, there's an obvious selection because he's won a race, which is Pastor Maldonado.
Okay.
He's not really been rated high since his win. But can I say for recent times, as in bar what they've done in the past?
Put your own spin on it, mate.
Okay, for recent times, I'm gonna say Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh.
Because yes, he won the race back in last year in Melbourne, but
why you corrected him? Very good.
Yes, he won the race in Melbourne last year, but since then, you know, the Lotus hasn't been as high as, you know, the Red Bull of last year, but you know, he really underperformed since that win. You know, I remember last year in Canada, he got lapped by Vettel. And that's when he was in second in the championship, and you know, yes, and then obviously he didn't race the last 2 races of last season. Then he came to Ferrari this season. Obviously, you know, with Fernando, obviously it's going to be it was always going to be tough with Mercedes' dominance. But compared to Fernando, Kimi really hasn't done well, and you know, even Fernando's, you know, I think he's third in the championship. Even though, yeah, he is third in the championship, and you know, he's got the consistency in, even with a car that's nowhere near the top. And Kimi's not been anywhere near his teammate, and you know, the results has not come in. So yeah, that's been recent times. Like his first spell, he's been brilliant, and you know, nobody can fault him for that. But his second spell, even though he has you know, merited his wins in the with these 2 wins in Lotus, and but his Ferrari time this season has been disappointing.
Debatable over talk there. Ryan, I'm not in. Don't even bother nodding your head. We all know you've got 6 of these points already. It's the last question. It's late. I'll let it slide. That was a debatable one. King.
Ooh, most overrated driver. I'm probably gonna go Felipe Massa on this one. Is your brother in the room?
You're lucky he's not here.
Yeah, I think Felipe really should have hung it up last year. There was no reason for him to continue his career. Like, it kind of hurts his legacy that he's still in Formula One. And the fact of the matter, I really think, besides him giving Williams a Petrobras sponsorship, he really isn't giving anything to Williams.
Oh dear. You know, I'll just point something out. You know whose head just bobbed in from around the corner of my bedroom door? Come say hi, Ryan.
You're gonna die.
You're not gonna find me. You're not gonna find me.
Good luck finding him in Pittsburgh.
I have connections.
If you heard that, I said it the way I said I have connections. Felipe Massa. Okay, interesting call. Little more.
I was going to say the same. Felipe Massa as well. Since he had a little accident, he's not been the same ever since. Obviously, he should have ended his career when he was dropped by Ferrari for Kimi Räikkönen. And since he's been to Williams, he hasn't done a single thing. And apparently they've dubbed him as like the higher majority, like #1 driver than Bottas is. And Bottas is actually beating him in most of the races. So I'm just a bit surprised that he's come out saying, "Oh, I should be #1 driver" and all that. But he's done squad all since he's gone there, and yeah, he had his chance winning the championship in 08 in Brazil, but obviously lost it to a certain last corner moment from Hamilton.
Locks car into a bumper car, but yeah.
Yeah. and then since then he's just been crap. So Massa, without a shadow of a doubt, is I would have passed him on somewhere up there, obviously, for his win, and he's been bragging about it. But Massa's probably more, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh god, I just realised I have the TV on embarrassing bodies back here. What have I done? Ah! Get that guy's Willie away from here. Right. Well,
Right.
I'm now permanently damaged mentally and physically. Okay. Recovering from that. But it just leaves you, Owen.
Yep.
I gave you the
Paul
most.
di Resta.
Yeah, what's that?
Paul di Resta.
He's not on the grid, though.
The guy that's no longer in the sport.
It's not the grid.
Not on the grid.
Sergio Perez.
Ooh!
Oh.
And there is a very good reason for
You
this.
better give him a good reason here.
Consistency. He's not consistent enough. He'll come and give you a 9 out of 10 performance one race, and then he'll drop back to like a 4 out of 10 performance the next race.
You've been watching my videos by any chance, I mean? I've said that exact same thing on video before.
No, but his consistency is horrendous. The only way he's going to drop that overrated hype from me is basically if he gets his consistency up. Consistency is basically causing too much hype. He'll get a 3rd place and everyone's like, oh, he's going to be the best young driver since sliced bread. And
I didn't know Sliced Bread was a driver.
I think he was.
Did he have some good career wins?
Yeah, he did. He won,
Okay.
yeah.
Actually, interesting fact: Sliced Bread is the nickname of a NASCAR driver, Joey Logano, because they called him the best thing since sliced bread.
That is awful. I should take a point off you for that reference. But I'll give you one because that was actually quite good. I didn't know Joey Logano was actually nicknamed that. Ooh, Rachel Riley on BBC Three. Kind of something else. Sorry, distracted. Yeah, go on, Owen.
Yeah, his consistency is the big reason for it. He's always had good cars. He's up against Hülkenberg this season, which is a lot better all-round driver. Yeah, he hasn't got a podium, but that's more down to never being in the position. He's been in position, but he's never been battling up there or started well enough. While Perez is he's had good cars. He had a Sauber that was extremely good. Yes, he was beating Kobayashi, but Kobayashi was never really that great either. But yeah, and he never really stacked up against Button.
The Perez one is one I've always found interesting because I still look back at that and I think, what was McLaren expecting out of Sergio Perez? Were they expecting him to beat Button? Were they expecting him to get close to Button? Were they expecting him to just have a half-decent season and build off that down the line? Or were they afraid of losing Magnussen out to another team, so they thought, screw it, we'll put him in there now and make Perez the martyr? I don't know what they're expecting to get out of Sergio. But I agree with who the Savage Trout puts in the chat, and I'd say Nico Hülkenberg. Purely because everybody keeps telling me how underrated he is. And by the logic of the term overrated, if everybody keeps talking about how great you are, with the end product being not as good as people would have hoped, probably, I can't help but check the feeling that nobody gets talked about more, and in my opinion, produces less. Except for Maldonado, who just crashes all the time. People just keep talking about how shit he is. But but for me, I agree with the Trout. I'd say Nico Hülkenberg. While I text somebody, just got to say thanks all 25 of you for watching. You guys are great. Thanks for sticking around so late as well. I know it's 10:20 our time over here in the UK. It's no problem for King. He's in the one true time zone. America and whatnot. So thanks for everybody sticking around. It's been a one thing. Also, I've got to say, fun fact from Zonda saying, interesting fact, Bruce Forsyth is older than sliced bread. Bruce Forsyth might be older than God, quite frankly. Side defending Master saying he's won 11 races, how is he overrated? Well, he hasn't won a race since 2008, for one, and for two, he's been Alonso's bitch for the better part of 4 years now, and he's added nothing to Williams' time. So I can completely see why people would say Felipe Massa. Sorry, Felipe, I like you. You're a lovely chap, but No. Checo is a future World Drivers' Champion, I guarantee.
No. unless he gets in that Mercedes, no.
I think anyone who gets in the Mercedes will win it.
And people complain about Vettel in the Red Bull era. I can now wear this cap with a little bit more smugness and pride, you know, because if Hamilton wins this year's championship, it automatically validates Vettel's 4. Or people will not give Hamilton's championship any credibility either. So hooray! Either way, I win. Okay, appeal round, everybody. Final round of the show. Talk about whatever you like in a last-ditch effort to score some points out of me. Anyone wants to go first?
Nay.
Littlemore. Very boldly.
I just want to get out because I've got to go in a bit because I was expecting this to be finished quite early. But mine's going to be about the future of racing games, in particular, a few sectors, and mainly this is about F1 2013 by Codemasters and how they're going to improve it. Mm-hmm. You see, from my iRacing as a main example, what I'm going to be talking about is in the next bill, which is coming in a few weeks' time, is the whole driver swaps thing that they're finally bringing in, and it's a massive request by the community of iRacing. And luckily enough, I'm a tester for them, and I test the new builds, the alpha beta builds, and it's brilliant to do.
Humble brag, humble brag.
100%. And it's huge success, and that will bring a lot of people in because they want the whole endurance side of things. A lot of people are requesting it. On there, you got R-Factor 2 with the whole modding system as well, which is pretty good. I mean, Formula Sim Racing are using it now. Assetto Corsa, they're going to be releasing a new F1 related mod. That big shout out to Charging Car because he did a video about that, which is fantastic, of the new Ferrari F1 car, which is on there. I think you can all check that out at some point on there. And I think F1, if they're going to be matching, and also Project Cars, I forgot to mention as well, coming in November on the next gen consoles, which looks blooming brilliant, I will say that, graphically and the content on there. And I think now Codemasters have got to sort of get up there with the likes of them. And I think if they don't go on next gen, I think they'll be losing a lot of fans and customers. And if they keep going on Xbox 360 and PS3, then they're slacking, I believe. But obviously they've not announced anything yet in terms of when it's going to be released. So I think they're going to maybe do it in November time, December time.
Okay.
And maybe just get it out there in terms of spending more time researching, developing it into next-gen consoles. And this year they've got to get it absolutely bang on with like AI, which a lot of people have been talking about. Online's the main one. Mainly online, basically, with all the lag and all that, which we can't race with Aussies like Ben on there, because me and him have a bit of issues on there. A lot of people do. So, yeah, Codemasters have got to get it right this year. If not, then that's it, I believe. The license is gone, I believe.
Thank you, Littlemore, for telling us stuff we probably already knew, especially about Codemasters. For the record, I'm without my second judge of the appeal round. My brother is not here, so it's purely down to me on this one. May God have mercy on all of your souls, because he's the more generous one. Cody's State of Racing Games is an interesting one. Project Cars is very exciting. Assetto Corsa is very exciting. Project Cars visuals are the best I've ever seen on any console ever, quite frankly. If what is seen is what's going to be in the final product, then that's truly mind-blowing. The steps that they've made. I'm not sure. The Codemasters stuff is just stuff a lot of us already know. People that are watching probably already know that Codemasters is kind of screwed with their F1 games. Ryan said, my brother just screamed in the background, 4. He's in his room still, but he just has a 4 from the background. I'm gonna say 6, so I'll average it. I'll split the difference and say 5. Okay, who wants to go next? Ooh, don't raise your hand all at once. Ryan, pick a guy's going next. Pick a guy's going there.
Right.
It's either Nino, Owen, or King. My brother's arrived for the appeal round. He just told me, and I quote, he's busy watching porn. You can't work a Google search. That's not possible.
Go for Nino.
Nino it is.
Okay. Not sure I want to talk about this because it might be a bit biased, but I'm going to talk about the Giro d'Italia that just finished last weekend.
Cycling.
Oh, my
Cycling.
God.
Alright.
Oh boy. Go on.
The Giro d'Italia that just finished last Sunday, and it ended up with a. Dre's gonna hate me for this. With a Colombian winner of the Giro for the first time.
Oh, sake.
And you know,
This is such a Homer appeal round, isn't it?
the Giro d'Italia was all about the Colombians because it was once the first two riders in the general classification were Colombians, and you know they've taken some stage wins, and yeah, and the winner was Nairo Quintana, who last year in the Tour de France came second in the general classification and won the mountains classification. And you know it's a great step forward for Colombian cycling, considering a decade ago you almost saw no Colombian professional cyclists in the Giro or the Tour de France, and that was disappointing considering Colombian's history in cycling back in like the 90s and the 80s were right on the top with the Europeans in terms of mountain climbing, and recently we've seen the regeneration of Colombian cyclists especially in the European tours, and it's great for one stage, but then again Quintana will probably not race this year in the Tour de France, even though last year he was second, which is disappointing. But yeah, it's a step forward for cycling as well, and also for the Movistar team, who really have really taken a step forward, considering the last few years have been mostly like Team Sky dominated, and Omega Pharma Quickstep dominated, and so Movistar really want to get up there. They haven't been for the past few years, so it's a step forward for them, and hopefully for the Tour they do well.
All right. Colombian cycling. You thought, ooh, this is really going to work out for you, huh? Also, before I score this, I have a viewer complaint. It's from Benny in the chat, who said during the last round that Owen said that Sergio Perez has not had a podium this year.
Oh, that's not true.
I didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
He didn't say that.
I think he's referencing about the consistency sort of thing, so I think you may have got that wrong.
Okay.
He just said he wasn't consistent.
I'll let that one slide. Fair enough. I couldn't verify that for sure. I probably would let him get away with it anyway. But just anyway, Ryan, your thoughts on the appeal?
I was so bored.
Quote: I was so bored I started watching Rachel Riley on the TV.
That's not a bad thing to do.
Hey, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad when I mentioned about NASCAR.
Well, to be fair, it's not as bad when Scott Woodward's plugged himself commentating a 24-hour race of minis and Citroen 2CVs.
That's interesting. That's something that I might be interested in.
No, it isn't.
I'll give a flying cojones about Colombian cycling.
Ouch. Oh dear. Well, give me a score real quick.
I'll give it 5.
5 as well.
Not more.
5, same as Littlemore, he says. I liked it more. I'd say 6. So I'll give him the 6. Over the higher end of that score. Owen or King? Owen or King? Let me toss a coin. All fun times. Heads for Owen, tails for King. As you can see, that is a head. Owen it is.
Alright. My topic is women in motorsport.
Oh, interesting. Women in motorsport.
Yeah. I think women in motorsport is good for the sport because it will gain the sport publicity amongst fans. With Susie Wolff, yeah, she isn't the best driver, but she's getting a lot of publicity for the sport because she's appearing in magazines such as Vogue, you name it, she's probably been in it, fitness magazines. She's really popular in Germany. She's, because of DTM, she's just everywhere. We've got, in NASCAR, you've got Danica Patrick, she's blown up that sport. She's made it big on a national scale.
Wait a minute. Isn't on your profile you're the internet's Danica Patrick fan?
Maybe.
And NASCAR was already the biggest racing series in America when Danica joined it. So
I would say she's brought in more casual fans, like more fans who never normally watch it, who watch it because of her.
Fair point.
And now we've got team principals as well. They're going to start, such as Manisha Kaltenbaum, Claire Williams. They're going to start when they start making a serious impact because Williams, it's still really run by Frank Williams. It's just she's waiting in the wings. She does more marketing stuff at the moment. Once she steps in, she could make an impact for difference because dynamics, stuff like that. And yeah, she's just going to be good for the sport because it will encourage more women into the industry, and hopefully we could end up finally with a competitive female F1 driver.
Interesting. Just points to me about Danica Patrick. That's always an interesting one to go down because obviously, you know, female cracking male-dominated sport is always an interesting topic to debate. I know during the first season we had a lot of talk about Sterling Moss and the comments he made regarding the possibility of a female driver, even though ironically he actually raced with one when he was a driver himself. Funny how these things turn out. Maybe the old man syndrome of losing his brain cells has started to get into effect. But I liked it. I really liked that one actually. I have a number in mind. Ryan, what do you think?
Really good answer. I'm surprised you didn't mention Sauber and...
Yeah, Simone de Silvestro, yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't talk about her and her general progress as a team.
I would say she doesn't bring in that much publicity though. Yes, she's a woman, but she doesn't want to be there for the publicity.
But yeah, it shouldn't be about publicity. It should be more about equality.
Indeed.
Exactly. She was quality. She was actually, like last year, was actually keeping up with not last year, 2 years ago.
Can I chip in for a minute here? This is a lot like the Michael Sam thing, where Michael Sam was drafted the 7th round and got that amazing amount of media coverage when the Rams drafted him being the first openly gay player in the NFL. I think the problem with equality is that if you want to be truly equal or truly want people to be treated equally, you have to normalize the situation to a degree as well. You can't just suddenly give people too much props and give them a free pass because they're gay or because they're a woman. To me, if you want to treat people truly equally, you have to be fair on both sides as well. And you know, I like that Simone Silvestro isn't focusing so much on the press side of things like Susie Wolff does. Sky Sports. But there's one of those situations where, yeah, I could definitely see where you're coming from overall.
Simone was even looked at that highlighted that Miley.
I'm on a live stream if you want to know.
What was that?
Plugging himself.
yeah. Go on, Sam.
But yeah, I'll probably get an answer 8, 9, maybe 10.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
8 to 10. Wow.
Well, I just want to say one thing, because I know I'm not going to talk about women in motorsport for my appeal, and I can't get 2 appeals. Like, the one point, it's like, equality at the top is great, but there's literally, the problem is that there's no equality at the bottom of motorsport and karting, because girls aren't just interested. Like, the ratio of girls to boys in karting is there's about 3 girls to every 20 guys. So the chance of them making it, up to the top is very small.
I think over here, I think it's even smaller than that. I mean, you said 15% roughly. I think it's less than that. I think it's more like 5% really. I think it's about 1 to 20 rather than 3 out of 20. It's just, as I know we mentioned about this a little bit when Sterling Moss brought this up and last season, and Scott made a really great point about how there's just not enough support at the grassroots level, I think, to really get enough women into motorsport deeper down the line. I mean,
it's not much that you can do actually.
Yeah, you just got to hope the people that do get there market it. I'd say more than anything else.
You just can't change your demographic completely. Just like try to get more women involved. You change demographic around completely. You just
exactly. It's one of those things. Like I said, if you want people to be equal, it works both ways. You know. But absolutely agree. I think that was a great. I think some great points were made there.
You can change the sport, but you can't change the people that take part in it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Great point, Ryan. You should be on the show more often. Ryan said 8 to 10. I was thinking 8. I'll go the generous end. I'll say 9 for that one, which I think is one of the highest appeal scores we've had in a long time, actually. And finally, Mr. King.
Well, yeah, for my appeal, I'm going to talk about the current. I'm going to talk about the current technical regulations and why I feel Mercedes is dominating. And it's mainly to me a historical thing. Mercedes-Benz as a company, they never do anything half-assed. They always go 100%, all the way in. You can see this from when they first started Grand Prix racing in the 30s. They completely dominated. It was Mercedes and Rudolf Caracciola in the 30s, and then the only reason why their domination ended in the 30s is because the Second World War started, and then when the war ended, they were banned from motorsport for 5 years. And when the ban was finally lifted, and they came back in the 50s with Juan Manuel Fangio and completely dominated in 45, and then 55 they dominated the first half of the season. Then the tragic disaster at Le Mans happened, and then to save face, they withdrew from the sport. Like, the only reason why their domination ended those first 2 Mercedes-Benz Grand Prix eras is the fact they were forced out of the sport. This time around, it's highly unlikely they will ever be forced out of the sport, and they came in with the power to get the regulations they wanted. So when the regulations finally came in 2014, they spent 4 years developing their V8 turbo, them getting everything to the exact specification they wanted, they even worked with Petronas to get the fuel they wanted, which even with Petronas they worked in motorsport for about 2 decades, and that was something completely new to them, that they ever had such cooperation with the manufacturer to get their fuel designed, get the engine designed around the fuel that they were going to use. That's why Mercedes has been able to be so far in front of even the other Mercedes teams. And I think Formula One's heading down a dangerous road where you give the team so much power in deciding the regulations. I liked what they do for the World Endurance Championship, what they did this season, where there's essentially almost no regulations. You could run whatever you want. They just have for engines, all they have is a fuel flow regulation. That's it. You could run as big as engine you want. You could run any type of engine. You could run turbos, naturally aspirated, V8s, V6. Porsche's running a V4. And I think having an open formula kind of makes it more inviting for people to come in, and it kind of lessens dominance to a degree.
Interesting indeed. Ron. In your own time, why choke on your sweet?
Again, this is a really good, well-structured answer about how Mercedes have planned their dominance.
Yeah.
I'm not really surprised about the dominance either, because don't forget, this is still the same Honda foundation that we had since 2009 that dominated their season. And
09, yeah.
Innovation ain't new to them either. The first couple of races with bronze history.
Yeah.
Dominated completely.
1/6 of the first 7.
Exactly. Even if Ryan made a small error saying he spent 4 years developing the V8 engine, it really was the V6.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It was a minor hiccup.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was generally a very good, well-structured point, and probably equal the same amount as
Owen did. 9?
9.
Agreed. 9 for Mercedes on there. Yeah. Any ending comments there? Quick look at the chat before we find out the final scores. But yeah, as we mentioned now, V6 Turbo, Full Life and Beyond mentioned that as well. So, hey Aaron, good to see you. Andrew, for memory this year, I think there were less than 15 female drivers in the British Unis Karting Championship this year, and of those that were competing, well, maybe 2 or 3. That's out of about, I'd say, about 90 teams of 4 drivers each. So maybe 2 or 3 out of 360. Well, that kind of puts into perspective there for you. Andrew DeBlay as well saying, not as many casual fans as Doggy Coin Power in NASCAR. That is such an awesome card.
Hey, Dogecoin is actually raising money to get a V8 supercar in Australia.
That is awesome. I love it. To be fair, I do slightly almost admire Danica for getting such a big following, even though her record in NASCAR is so poor. Simone de Silvestro came out with some pretty spot-on comments on Autosport the other day. I pulled up the article about this actually while King was talking from about 4 days ago, saying that she's encountered no gender discrimination whatsoever in her right to try and get to a Formula One, and she said, and I quote, "If you look in karts, there's maybe 100 boys racing, there may be 3 or 4 girls, so the ratio is definitely at the smaller end. In general racing, to get to a higher level, it's difficult whether you're a boy or a girl. You have to prove yourself, and there are so many drivers. Every driver on the planet wants to get to F1, and there are only 22 seats. I've never felt it was different or tougher, because I think the most important thing is to prove you can be fast. And if you're winning races or up front, people just consider you a race car driver." And she said,
exactly.
She said, I don't think it's pressure or expectation. To me, the important thing is I show we can be competitive, and up till now, I think I've been able to do that in my career," she added. "Until IndyCar, I've always won races and always in front. Those are important criteria, and if I get the chance to go to Formula One, I want to do the same thing. Show that we can be as fast as the guys. That's the key." De Silvestro also rubbished suggestions that Sauber having a female team boss in Manisha Keltenborn might be an advantage to her. "I don't think it helps that I'm a girl, but it's the first time I've had a female boss, so it is different," De Silvestro said. "What she has seen in me is that I really want this, and I really want to make it happen. I don't think it changes anything, because at the end of the day, I'm here to work. Because sisters be doing it for themselves." Okay, yeah, great points from Simone. Very, very mature about the whole situation, and very well-rounded comments. I like the fact she's taken a stance saying, you know what, no, it isn't just about a female empowerment kind of thing, and wanting to be treated equally as the men do. And I think that's a great way forward. And
also, one of the reason why there's more females taking part in NASCAR, IndyCar instead of F1, this was maybe because of the country. But look, in America, they're a lot more laid back, and parents are more supporting whether they want to take up in.
Well, no, I'd like to say it's the fact that, like, in stock car racing, you could literally start, like, in your 20s and still make it to NASCAR, while in, like, Formula One, you have to start as, like, a teenager. Yeah. And like, a lot of stories I hear from karting tracks, it's like, girls are really, are really insecure about themselves and whether racing is, like, a girly thing to do, even though, like...
Yeah, good point. But yeah, that's a very, very good point. But yeah, again, just in general, again, I'm a big fan of Simona for those comments. Very well-rounded, very rational way of thinking, and I think a very mature way of thinking. I hear Littlemore's got to shoot off in a minute because it's 11:45. Is that right, Ryan? I know his mic's muted.
Yeah, I've got literally a race in about 3 minutes.
All right, 1 minute. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you your score, but I'm not going to tell you where you finished. You don't have to watch the replay back for that.
Well, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm going to be last. Okay, always am.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 32. Okay. You know what? You scored 41 points, Ryan. The thing is, context, you have no idea whether that's a good score or a bad score yet.
It's a bad score. It's a bad score.
But I will let you get off and get on with your race. Good luck. And, yeah, send me a tweet when you catch the replay. Good night, Littlemore.
I hope you guys have a good evening. I might be back in a minute. You never know. I might crush out. I'm doing an oval race. Anything can happen in oval races.
Yep. Watch out for Jacques. Watch out for Jacques.
I'll keep. There is someone from Canada in this race, so a couple of Canadians. So I've got to be careful.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have a good evening, and I hope Ryan doesn't win. Just saying.
Ouch.
Take it.
Goodbye, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the 4 of us now, or 5 if you include Big Ed over there. But right.
That means better looking.
Shut up. Right, okay, I'm just going to work out the final score. Final scores here. One moment. Talk amongst yourself, fellas. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
What do we talk about?
Yeah. Littlemore wasn't joking. His score is not holding up very well right now. Hang on. 5. Oh, wow. Wow. I think we've got a 1-point game here, folks.
Oh, God. Am I going to regret that 1 penalty point I had?
I'm going to regret that 3 penalty points, if it's me.
If only you knew. Right. Close. It's very close. 5 points cover the top 3.
Ooh.
And first and second is covered by 1 point.
Oh, wow.
What's the gap back to Littlemore?
Yeah.
Okay. Littlemore is in last with 41. I'll tell you that right now. No surprises there. The person in third has got 52.
Oh, God.
So I should just show my brother the scoreboard now. Yeah, close, isn't it? Okay. Alright, people. In third place, like I said, with a score of 52. It's his first official performance, but it's a third place for Owen, everybody. Valiant effort, Owen. Valiant effort for your first proper appearance.
Yeah.
The 3 penalty points, I can tell you now, wouldn't have made a difference. You still would have finished third. But it would have been even closer. But how do you feel, mate? Third place.
Yeah, very good. Very good for the first official performance.
Yeah, not bad at all. I think you did very well. I think you're a bit unlucky there, herping on the Le Mans question of all things.
Yeah.
Because you had the best Joker. You had 14 points off the Joker.
Yeah.
And that was a shame. You kind of blew it for yourself a little bit there on that one.
At least stop beat Littlemore.
Yeah. Is that really an achievement? Okay. Wow. Okay. Let me fill in the blanks. Second place has 56. The winner has 57.
Oh dear.
Both of these men have won a show before. Me not giving Nino a penalty point for the overtalk is interesting. Me giving King a penalty point is interesting. It may have swung things in somebody's favour here, but I can confirm the winner of tonight's ATC, and now 2-time winner, with 57 points. It's Nino, everybody! Nino
technicality.
King, your penalty points broke the tie, unfortunately.
Wow.
If there was not a penalty point, it would have gone to a sudden death round. You both would have had 57. That might be that's the second closest ATC we've ever had, because I think one time Nino and Kev went to a tie break. and it went to sudden death, and I had to pick a winner out of that. But yeah, Nino, how does it feel? Second win.
It's nice, especially it's my first appearance in season 2, so it's nice to be back in the bang.
Yeah. And I believe the first guy to win in both seasons as well, which is also a plus.
I would have been the first guy to win in 2 seasons if I won.
King, your strategy worked out. You actually spoke more this time, and you were so close. How does it feel, man?
Just bad. I feel like Basil Maldonado.
Poor King. Bad luck, my man. But as you can see, Nino wins his second ATC, and as a result, he gets 30 seconds of FaceTime. Nino, anything you want to plug out there, mate?
Hey guys, if you don't know who I am already, my name's AfNino, and yeah, you know, just normal guy. My YouTube channel, AfNino Gaming. I just do random stuff there, mostly F1 on Grid Autosport coming soon. And other games if you want to see. So and yeah, my Twitter, AfNino, follow me in there, and you get to witness me, you know, have some good tweets. And whether Lewis Hamilton sorts his mojo out, I have another breakdown calling him a little fucking child. But
you had to go there, didn't you?
But yeah, guys, that's it.
Yeah, but congratulations on the second wing. And you know what? It's been such a good show tonight. I'm gonna let all 3 of you get your FaceTime in. This is for the first time ever. Owen, give yourself a plug, my man. Oh, he's actually frozen.
He's frozen again.
Well, I like to just make one comment. I know which question cost me this around the corner. It was the question not about motorsport. It was the football question.
Yeah. The football question stabbed you in the head. That's unlucky, isn't it? But King, you got a lot on your plate right now. Plug it out there, right? You might as well while we're on here.
Yeah, I got my new news show, Formula Flash, which I basically cover motorsport news in like a brief format. Well, there's not going to be any more episodes today, obviously, or tomorrow. I have an exam tomorrow. I'll probably try to get out an episode outside the Monday to Wednesday window over this weekend, and I have my Finish Line podcast with me and Athlete VG, and Dre, you're gonna be a guest on the next episode for the Canada review show.
Yep, I will be on the Finish Line with Athlete and Ryan King talking about the Canadian Grand Prix, maybe a little bit about the Indy 500 as well and whatnot. So yeah, so basically check me out on that one soon as well, so stay tuned for that one. It's bound to be entertaining. I'm on there. Come on now. But yeah. But yeah, mostly thanks to Ryan for coming on as always. He's a very busy bee out there. He does really cool things, and you know he's as slick a commentator as I've ever seen on YouTube, and does a really he very well presents his videos. It's simple, it's slick edited, and it just works for YouTube. It really does, and his podcast Finish Line is excellent. So I highly recommend you check that out if you're a Formula One fan. And if you like this show, you'll get a kick out of the Finish Line. I'm sure of it. But again, it's coming towards 11 o'clock. GMT here in the United Kingdom. I want to say we still have 18 of you guys watching, so thank you all so much for sticking around. I know we started late. This might be the longest ATC we've ever done. I think we started AM 8:20, so we've done nearly 2 hours 40 minutes. It's been a battle this time around. Owen, are you with us still?
Probably got a slight delay.
But... Yeah, go on. Give yourself a quick plug before we go, mate. Maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
Basically, my channel.
Oh dear.
Freezing all the time.
This is not working out. But yeah, check him out on Twitter. Oh dear. Awkward internet conflicting. But yeah, basically, if you haven't already, check his show out. It's OwenTQ128 and his Twitter, vote Mayor Quenby. Nice reference there. But just want to say thanks to everybody who watched. I hope you guys really enjoyed ATC. I had such a laugh on this one. This was a hilarious show. And obviously, we'll be back after the Canadian Grand Prix this weekend. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And from me, Owen, Ryan Littlemore, Ryan King, and AfNino, and my brother Ryan as well. We've got 3 Ryans on the show tonight. His name's getting far too common.
Invasion!
It's an invasion of Ryans. But until the next time, I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Good night.